Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to learn about Martha E. Rogers' theory. The name of the theory is The Science of Unitary Human Beings. Now, in one of my previous video, I have told certain keywords like how to remember the nurse theorist and their theories. Okay, so in that, to remember Rogers' theory, I told you that Martha E. Rogers, the letter E is very important because E stands for energy field. So, one thing what we should know prior to learning Rogers' theory is that this theory is going to full discuss about the importance of energy field which is there around the human being. Okay, so the full theory is going to be related to energy field. And Roja has named her theory as the science of human being, but she has given a word as unitary human being. Okay, so why that word unitary human being? It will be more clear as we are going to study the theory. Okay, so let me tell you once more. The name of the theorist is Martha E. Rogers, and the name of the theory is The Science of Unitary Human Beings. It is one of the wonderful theories what is being gifted to nursing profession, that is by a nurse named Martha E. Rogers. So you will be able to appreciate the wonders behind this theory as we are going to study this. So let us move on to the brief history about the theorist. So Martha E means Elizabeth. Okay, Martha Elizabeth Rogers was born in Texas in the year 1914 on May 12th. So we know May 12th is the birthday of Florence Nightingale. So she shares her birthday with the famous Nightingale. She grew up in a family where learning was fostered and reading was a favorite pastime. So she was grown up in a family, I mean in a learned family who encouraged their daughters to read more. And the profession of, if you're going to see the academic ladder of Roger, it starts from her diploma in nursing, going to BSc, MSc, and doctorate. So, first, let us see, she has taken her diploma in nursing from Knoxville General Hospital in 1936. After that, she completed her bachelor's in nursing, that is in public health nursing, from College Nashville in 1937, and later she took her master's degree again in public health nursing from the very prestigious Teachers College in Columbia University. So after her master's, she pursued her doctorate in nursing from Johns Hopkins University in the year 1954. So it's such a nice thing to read about Roger that she started as a diploma nurse and she earned a doctorate. Okay, so after her diploma, she did her basic, then she did her master's. She completed her doctorate in nursing in 1954. And after receiving her doctoral degree, Rogers got the position of professor and head of the division of nursing, and her career as an educator and a leader in theory development came to realization. So we find that it's a wonderful academic ladder what Roja has climbed up, and she not only she was a professor and head of the division of nursing, she had the position of professor emeritus, that is division of nursing in New York University. In addition, she was a consultant and a speaker, and she passed away in 1994. So that is about a brief introduction about the theorist. But let me add one point to it, that Roger also had some interest in learning physics. Okay, she had taken up an art subject in physics, and that has an influence in this theory, because energy field is something which is connected to, it's not completely related to nursing as such. It is coming from physical sciences. So maybe her background in that subject of physics has helped her to develop such a beautiful theory of science of unitary human beings gifted to nursing. So with this introduction to theorist, so if you are a student who are listening to this nursing theory class, just remember she was a public health nurse. She started her career, or she started her nursing education from diploma, and she ended up with her doctorate, and later she became a professor emeritus, and she was working in such a high position. So that is what you have to remember when you're going to write about the theorist. Next, let us see what is the main important things what we are going to study in this theory. Okay, so as I told you earlier, she had certain grounding in the sense like she had her a little bit of education in arts and science, especially in the subject of physics, which is apparent in the origin of her theory. Her original work are the basic assumptions. See, in this theory, we are going to cover all these things. Okay, we are going to study about her basic assumptions. We will be discussing about certain concepts. We will be discussing about principles of homeodynamics. Okay, so at least these three things as a student you should remember when you are writing Rogers' theory. Number one, concept. For all theories, we write concepts. So, concepts you will have to study. Number two is assumptions. Okay. In Rogers' theory, there are specifically 5 assumptions which we will be discussing. And number three is you have to remember that there is something called as principles of homeodynamics. So, these are the 3 things which we are going to cover in this video. Now, her major work, she has written a very good paper on Introduction to Theoretical Basis of Nursing in 1970, which was considered to be very famous and very useful to the profession. And she was known throughout her model was known throughout the world as Science of Unitary Human Being. Why? Because human being should be considered as a whole, and this human being is always interacting with the environment. See, in this picture, if you're going to see, this is a human being, okay, a symbolic representation of a human being, but there is continuous interaction with the environment by the energy field, okay, the energy field of the human being, the energy field of the environment, there is constant interaction. So regarding that more, we'll study with each slide. So this is about the introduction to the theory. Now, the first thing, let us study in detail about the concepts of Rogers' theory. So, the first concept of Rogers' theory is here. The name is energy field. So, what is the first concept of Rogers' theory? Energy field. What is energy field? According to Martha E. Roger, energy field is a fundamental unit of both living and non-living. See, usually in primary classes, we study that the cell is the fundamental unit in a human being. For growth, the cell is the most fundamental thing. So, according to Roger, energy field is something very fundamental because her theory, I told you, it's full and full on energy field. So, no wonder that the first concept is energy field. So, according to Martha E. Roger, energy field is a fundamental unit of both living and non-living. What do you mean by that? Energy field is there in both living organisms as well as non-living thing. What do you mean by that? Within me, I have an energy field. This room where I sit, this is a non-living thing. But this room also has an energy field, according to Martha A. Rocha. So it's something very fundamental. Energy signifies the dynamic nature of the field. Second point she told, it is dynamic. What do you mean by that? The energy field can keep on changing. Okay, maybe now my energy field is highly positive, but maybe after few hours it may become just positive. It may not be highly positive, it may just be positive. Okay, which means that it keeps on changing. It is dynamic, and the field is in continuous motion, and it is infinite. So this energy field is continuously moving. It's not that I say that in this room there is a positive energy field. No, maybe after few weeks this room need not have that positive energy field, which means it keeps on changing. There is continuous motion. See, when we talk with some people, okay, we feel highly positive. When we talk with some people, we feel once after meeting a person, when I just leave that person, maybe I'll feel that I feel so confident, I feel so happy. I don't know, I have that peace of mind when I move away from that person. That is because there is a continuous movement. Maybe that person's positiveness is, I am being influenced by that positiveness. Whereas there are certain other people, after meeting them, when you come back after meeting them, you will feel very low about yourself. You may feel that you are nothing, because maybe that is that continuous movement between that person and you, that energy field. Maybe it is a negativism which is being flowing from one person to another. Okay, so it's something a little bit of a high level theory, but it's something, if you are a person who can appreciate this, you will love this theory to the core. Okay, so That is the first concept of Rogers theory. What is it? Energy field. So what should I remember about energy field? It is there in both living and non-living. It keeps on changing. It is dynamic and there is a continuous movement. It's not that I am closed. I am interacting with the environment. I am interacting with another people. So there is a continuous movement of energy field between the, living beings or even living and non-living beings. The second concept. So first concept is energy field. Second concept is pattern. Okay, there is a pattern. What do you mean by pattern? Pattern is a distinguishing characteristic of an energy field perceived as a single wave. Unitary human being cannot be understood by studying their parts. What do you mean by that? See, pattern means it is a distinguishing characteristic of an energy field. See, now there are some people who say that I'm very short tempered. Okay, maybe that energy field related to temper, you have only one line to tell. I'm very short tempered. Or you are very short tempered. She is very. See, how do we recognize or how do we identify people? We identify people with their characteristics. I mean, I talk about not physical characteristics. I'm talking about their behavioral characteristics. You say, no, some teachers are very kind, some teachers are very loving, whereas some teachers are very angry, they are very short-tempered, they are very rude. What you're telling, that one single wave, what comes out of that human being is called as a pattern. So now let us read and see it once more. It is a distinguishing characteristic. See, you tell that this is what is that person's energy field. Maybe you say she gossips, maybe you say she is very encouraging. So that distinguishing characteristic of an energy field which is perceived as a single wave is called as a pattern. So what should I understand from this? We all have patterns. We have our own way of our energy field, how it is being tracked. Some people are highly ambitious. Their energy field is like that. Okay. So there is a pattern. Okay. There is a pattern how we sleep. There is a pattern of our body temperature. For some of us, it is always subnormal. For some of us, always it is between 98.4 to 98.6, which means what I'm trying to tell you is all of us we have a pattern of energy field. Each human being, so she is again explaining that each human being has a unique identifiable pattern. Definitely, if you are listening to this video, you have a unique pattern. You have a unique energy field. Okay, and it is irreducible. It is non-materialistic aspect of life. Materialistic means like you say that I am very rich or I am very poor. It talks about material. But being kind, being encouraging, maybe suffering from sleep disturbance, all these things are non-materialistic. It is not related to having money or having things. That wave of energy field is called as pattern. So what is pattern? It is an abstraction, but it gives identity to the field. I cannot show you exactly how it is, but if you spend time with a particular group of people for some time, you will feel definitely encouraged. So that is, I cannot tell you exactly how it is. It is very abstract, but definitely it gives identity to the field. That is called as pattern. Okay, so it's little bit again. I'm telling you with each concept why I'm telling like this is for some of you who are listening to this video, you may feel why is such a complex thing, but just think it from the energy field pattern. We all have an energy field. It is dynamic. It is in continuous motion, but this energy field is having a beautiful pattern, which is very unique for every individual. We all have our own pattern of energy field, okay, which is going to give an identity to us. Okay, so that is pattern. So that is the second concept. The third concept is pan-dimensionality. What do you mean by pan-dimensionality? We know what is one dimension, two dimension, three dimension. But beyond the three dimension view is called as pan-dimensional. Usually we say pan means everywhere, pandemic, everywhere. Pan-dimensional, everywhere. So what is she trying to tell? Roger is trying to tell that this energy field is non-linear domain. What do you mean by linear? Linear means it goes in a straight line, right? That is linear. Non-linear means energy field is there everywhere. It is not that my energy field is like this according to Roger. It is not like this. It is there everywhere. Okay, it is a non-linear domain without spatial or temporal attributes. That is the beauty of it. That is, there is no spatial restriction. It is here. My energy field is only here. No. Okay. So human and environmental fields are believed to be pan-dimensional beyond the three-dimensional point of view. If the present is relative, there is no temporal ordering of life. See, I'll tell you what it is. Now, pan-dimensionality means, have you seeing people who sit and pray for somebody? I may be sitting, say, here in South India, okay, maybe in Kerala. I am here, okay, but maybe my vibrations, okay, that energy field can affect a person who is living elsewhere. Have you heard about mothers who pray for their children and healing takes place somewhere else? Okay, maybe their child is, thousands of miles away, but it works. Okay, maybe it is a prayer, maybe it is a healing thing which you are sending. Okay, it's beyond the science to say that, see, this is how it is. No, but it works. Or at least have you experienced something called as telepathy? Telepathy means you think you have to call a friend, okay, one of your old friend for a long time, and you think about her, and then suddenly here she calls you, and then she is also telling you the same thing. I was also thinking about you. See, that is, that is telepathy, that is working. So all such things can be explained using Rogers theory. Okay, Rogers theory believes like that. It is pan-dimensional. Rogers theory believes that human beings' energy potential is beyond this room. Okay, my energy field, according to Roger, my energy field is beyond this room where I sit. It is beyond this building where I sit. It is beyond this country where I live. Okay, it is pan-dimensional. Okay, so you just imagine it's just an energy field. Okay, so first concept was energy field, second concept was energy field has a pattern, third concept is energy field is beyond a three-dimensional point of view. It is pan-dimensional. Number 4. Okay, the fourth concept is, we come on to the topic, unitary human being. So that is her fourth concept, unitary human being. What do you mean by unitary human being? Irreducible, indivisible, pan-dimensional energy field. Why irreducible, indivisible, pan-dimensional? Because my energy field is not going to be there within this room. I am not a person who can be reduced to this one particular room. I am not a person who can be divided just by the sum of my parts. It is not that two eyes and two ears and nose and two hands and legs makes me. It is beyond that. Irreducible, pan-dimensional energy field. Then we know it has a pattern. It has a manifesting characteristics which cannot be predicted from the knowledge of its parts. Now, when we look up to great leaders like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, our former Indian president, if you're going to look at him, he cannot be, he cannot be told that he is a human being with a sum of parts, two eyes and two ears. You cannot tell like that because his energy field, according to Rogers, is, he is a unitary human being. Even after years of his demise, still he is having that, we are all affected or we are all influenced by his personality. So maybe that is why you say that you are a unitary human being. So according to Rogers, what is unitary human being? She believed that this human being is irreducible. She believed that you cannot be indivisible and you are pan-dimensional, and every human being has a pattern and a characteristics. You cannot predict a human being just only by adding up the parts. Unitary human beings and their environment are the focus of nursing science. So that is why she named her theory as the science of unitary human being. Because nursing is concerned with this human being and the environment. So our role is only with that. And so that is why she named her theory as the science of unitary human being. The last concept, the fifth one, environment or environmental energy field. So, unitary human being means human being is having an energy field. okay, which is indivisible, irreducible, pan-dimensional. But according to Roger, even this environment has an energy field, which means the same thing. Okay, I'm sorry that the slide is, there is a small mistake in the slide. The same thing, the same words you can find for environmental energy field in your textbook. Irreducible, indivisible, pan-dimensional energy field, which is always having a constant interaction with the human being. That is called as environmental energy field. So if you study the definition of one concept, unitary human being, you can write the definition of the environmental energy field. What is the difference? Nothing. Here it is irreducible, indivisible, pan-dimensional, interacting with the environment. That is called as unitary human being. For environmental also, I will write the same words. What are the words? Irreducible, indivisible, pan-dimensional, energy field interacting with the human being. So these are the 5 concepts according to Roger's theory. Shall we just identify what are the 5 concepts? The first concept was energy field, because her theory is about energy field. What did we study in energy field? It is there everywhere. It is dynamic. It is in continuous motion. Number 2, pattern. Or every energy field is having a pattern, a unique identity, distinguishing characteristic feature. Number 3, this energy field is pan-dimensional. You can influence a person anywhere, sitting anywhere else. Okay, you are, maybe you are placed in Asia. Maybe that energy field can travel even till Canada. Okay, the reason is, according to Roger, the energy field is pan-dimensional. Number 4, human being is a unitary human being because of 3 words: irreducible, indivisible, pan-dimensional, always interacting with the environment. And number 5, the environment is also having an energy field. So what do I understand? This room has an energy field. Okay, I have listened to one of the small YouTube video did by shared to me by someone else, in which that person is talking about the rooms. Okay, if every single room or every single shelf or cupboard what you're having is having an energy field. When you arrange everything neatly, maybe there is a positive energy field. When there is good ventilation, when there is good lighting in the room, that has an energy field. So I'm not going much into the details, but Roger's theory is supporting that. Roger's theory is saying that environment also has an energy field which can influence the human being. So with that, we have completed concepts. So the major phenomena of concern in nursing is 2: human beings and the environment. Now we are going to discuss about the assumptions. Assumptions given by Roger. So again, I told you 5 words are there in assumptions, 5 basic assumptions. So let us see one by one. The first assumption is wholeness. Okay, what do you mean by wholeness? Roger believed that a human being is a unified whole, possessing an integrity and manifesting characteristics which are more than or which are different from the sum of their parts. So the characteristic of an individual is giving him his identity as a human being. They are not just characterized by their body parts, by their body mass, structure, function, and feeling. So, what is Roger trying to tell? See, when you are going to give care to the patient based on Roger's theory, you should understand that Roger's assumption is that this unitary human being is not just the sum of the parts. Okay, maybe when I go to take care of a patient with below knee amputation. Okay, it is not that I am going to see this patient as a person with only one leg. No, that is not I should see, because he is not, he is more than that. He is more than the sum of parts. He is different from the sum of parts. Maybe there is another patient with a BK amputation. He may behave differently, but this patient who is sitting in front of me, okay, he is going to be very different from the sum of his parts, and he may be more than the sum of his parts. we can see, lot of people who are having so many problems. They will be wonderful motivational speakers, encouraging other people. So how come it is possible? Because human being is unique. You cannot predict a human being just because it is blind. You cannot predict that this person is a failure just because he has failed in his exam. Maybe he or she will be a wonderful nurse in the future. Maybe theoretically this particular child is little bit down, but practically she may be the wonderful nurse who is going to save many people in her career. Okay, so what I understand is when I look or when I go to take care of a patient based on Roger's theory, I should understand that this person is a unified whole who is more than the sum of parts, who is different from the sum of parts. And I also understand that it is not just his body parts, it is the characteristics of an individual. It is the structure, function, and feelings of an individual. There are a lot of people who are more, physically healthy. They are having lot of unique, things in their body, in the sense like maybe their eyes are so beautiful, the skin is flawless. Many things are there, but doesn't mean that this particular person should have a very high level of success, whereas the other way around it can work. That is, though a person is blind or deaf or being an amputee or having a colostomy, that doesn't matter, because their energy field, maybe their pattern, their distinguishing characteristics are entirely different. So this is what Roger wants to remind us, that a human being is a unified whole, more than the sum of parts, different from the sum of parts. So it is not just the body parts, it is his feelings, it is his function, everything together which determines a human being. Number two, openness. Roger believed that always there is openness in this unitary human being. What do you mean by that? The individual and the environment are constantly exchanging energy with each other. Human being is visible only when particulars disappear from view. So she believed that always there is openness between this human being and the environment. Now, this environment can be this non-living environment, or it can be the other people whom I am meeting in my life. That is what everyday life experiences illustrates how an individual affects or is being affected by the world around him or her. People are connected even to the natural world. So, what do you mean by openness? Is though a patient is feeling very down, though a person is feeling depressed, okay, interaction with the environment can change the feelings of the person. Maybe an intervention given by a nurse and the communication what she is establishing with the patient may make the person a little bit more happier, a little bit more hopeful life. It always happens. As friends, when you talk to your close friend, maybe you share your burdens, okay, and after that she consoles you, you feel a lot better, you feel a lot better. It always keeps changing, because she believed that this unitary human being is having a characteristic of openness. So, number one, I should understand that wholeness. Number two, this person is in interaction with the environment. It keeps on changing. So, that is called as openness. Number three, unidirectionality. So, what she believed, the third thing about unitary human being is that it is irreversible. The life process is irreversible, and there is only one direction along a space time continuum. The best example is a unitary human being, or for that matter, any living thing. We always keep growing. We cannot reverse the process of growth. It is having a unidirectionality. The evolution is always irreversible. I cannot go back to my childhood age, isn't it? It's not possible. Okay, so it's always that evolution of a unitary human being is always irreversible, and it is always unidirectional. So, like example, conception, birth, infancy, till old age, death. There is a sequential stage and it goes in one direction. It is not reversible. So, that is what she believed about the human beings, the third assumption. Number four, She believed that unitary human beings are having a pattern and organization. So already she has told this in her concept. After energy field, the second concept was pattern. So she's again reminding us in her assumptions that unitary human beings, they have a pattern and they have their own organization. So ability to self-regulate. Yeah, this is the one important thing which we should understand when we are studying Roger's theory. Roger believed that human being has the ability to self-regulate himself in spite of the continuous change in the life and environment. Now, as nursing students, maybe you are studying in a specific college, maybe you are doing your BSc, and after that you would have gone to some other institution for your MSc. Now the pattern slowly keeps changing. The energy field which I have, that unique identity, may keep on changing, but I have the ability to self-regulate myself in spite of the changing environment. Okay, we all get adjusted slowly, slowly. We get adjusted to the new environment. So that shows that Roger kept human being at a very high level. She believed that already your patient has the ability to self-regulate himself in spite of the changing environment. It's not that you have to go and do something. The patient is already taking care to regulate himself. So that is pattern and organization. The last assumption, sentience and thought. What do you mean by sentience and thought? This human being is having the capacity for abstraction, capacity for imagery, language, thought, sensation, and emotion, which means she's placing patient or human being at a very high level. In fact, she's placing you and me at a very high level. She believes that this human being is capable of everything. This patient or this person has the ability for abstraction, imagery, thought, sensation, emotion. And we are all unique from other living form because we have the power to think ourselves. Okay, he has the power to think himself. So what again I would like to stress in Roger's theory is, when you study Roger's theory, when you are implementing Roger's theory, please understand that patient is not in a dependent position. Okay, patient is not in a dependent. It's not that the nurse is taking care of everything. It is not that the nurse has to plan everything for the patient. No, you're wrong. According to Roger's theory, if you are using Roger's theory, then it should be like this: you and the patient, both of you together, will discuss and you will determine how to slowly change the pattern of the patient's energy field, and you respect the patient, whether he is having diabetes or any sort of heart failure, renal failure, let him be on dialysis. That's not my concern. I am going to respect him because he has the power to think. He has the power for sensation. He has the ability to regulate himself. I hope you understand that Roger has kept the human being at a very high level. And as nurses, when we are taking care of the patient, we have to keep the patient at the same pedestal when you're giving care to this patient. So these are the 5 assumptions in Roger's theory. Okay, I know the words are a little bit, difficult, but it's once you understand the base, it's actually very, very, very simple. Okay, so the first 5 concepts we studied. Shall we just remember what are the 5 concepts? The first concept is, I can close my eyes and write it as energy field. Energy field. This energy field has a pattern. This energy field is pan-dimensional. It goes everywhere. This energy field is there for human being, unitary human being. This energy field is there for the environment. So 5 concepts. Okay, that is energy field, pattern, pan-dimensionality, unitary human beings, environmental energy field. Next, 5 assumptions. What is the first assumption Roger had? This person is whole, more than the sum of parts, different from the sum of parts. He is having his own characteristics. Don't look only at the body parts. Wholeness. Number 2, openness. This person is always in constant interaction with other people. He is always in constant interaction with the environment. Things will change because this person is having openness. Okay. Then we saw about the third thing, unidirectionality, which means the evolution of this unitary human being is irreversible. It goes only in one direction. She reminds us that this unitary human being is having a pattern and the ability to self-regulate himself. And last, very important, this person is having the ability to think, he's having the ability to have emotions, language, imagery, thought process, etc. So I told you in this video I'll be covering three things. Okay, why I am covering these three things is these are the three important things given by Roger. Okay, so first we have completed five concepts. We have completed five assumptions. The next thing is we are going to study about homeodynamics principles. Homeodynamic principles. What is this principle? That is, Rogers believed that this energy field is operating on three principles. Homeodynamic means a sort of equilibrium. This energy field should be in equilibrium, but it has three characteristics or three principles. Let us see. Okay, so it is a way of perceiving unitary human beings. So let us see. Three principles: resonancy, helicity, integrality. It's a little bit tough, but you will have to remember that once you understand it's these words are also easy. Resonancy, helicity, integrality. Let's see one by one. First one is resonancy or resonance. What is that? Continuous change from lower to higher frequency wave pattern in human and environmental field. See, always we keep changing, no? In the sense like morning you're very upset and by afternoon you're laughing like anything. Energy field keeps changing. Maybe the people who came into your circle when you were upset and they, what to say, they cracked a joke and you had a good time, had a good coffee, you went for a relaxation, something, you ventilated all your feelings, you feel now perfectly okay. See, that is because resonancy. It keeps changing from high to low and low to high. This energy field is like that. So one principle is it has the characteristic of resonancy. Like for example, sleep wake rhythm. We go into light sleep, then go into deep sleep, and then coming into rapid eye movement sleep, and then you wake up. So it keeps changing. Something similar. Sleep wake rhythm. Even hormone levels, especially in females. Okay, we have fluctuation of hormones, estrogen, then progesterone. Okay, then you have ovulation time, you have menstruation time, so that hormone levels keeps on. If anything in the body is operating based on this energy field, according to Roger, that is going into resonancy. Resonancy means going up down, it goes like that, fluctuating emotional states. So energy field follows the principle of resonancy. Number two, helicity. What do you mean by helicity? Helicity means innovative, continuous, unpredictable diversity of human and environmental field pattern. Okay, what do you mean by that? As we are, growing, okay, the human brain will become more and more complex. You cannot predict how a human being will behave. You can never predict because it follows the principle of helicity. Energy field has the principle of helicity. When you were very small, you're not only you, all of us, when we were very small, we were very innocent. Okay, we had only one way of thinking, we had only one way of perceiving things. But as we are growing, as we are aging, as we come across so many people in our life, as we go through so many circumstances in our life, what happens is we become more complex. It's not that one single thinking or one single speaking. Now you are very diverse and you are very complex. Okay. So there is diversity of human field pattern, environmental field pattern. Something, it's like this, it's like a slinky toy. A slinky toy is very complex. When you play with a slinky toy, you find that again and again it becomes more complex. So same way, human beings will not go back. They become increasingly diverse and complex, but that is one good characteristic of an energy field, from simple to complex. As you're growing older, as you're growing wiser, the energy field becomes more complex and the energy field becomes more diverse. Okay, so that is what she believed, that is called as helicity. The third one is she believed that there is something called as integrality. Always this energy field is integral. What do you mean by integrality? Continuous movement between the human and the environmental field. Always there is this energy field is not going to remain. For example, if you have energy field X, this is not going to remain with you. It will move on to another person named Y. It will affect another person named Z. Okay, like we have read, I'm sorry, we have read a lot of messages, like for example, like one person smiles and then that smile is contagious, it keeps spreading to another person. So that whole, that whole process of that whomever that sequential person is meeting becomes happier. So that is integrality. It's integrality. Okay, maybe it's a continuous human environmental and human field integration. Okay, so these are the three principles which was given by Roger related to this theory. That is, she believed energy field is having resonancy, high low, sleep wake rhythm, temperature, hormones, all those things are resonancy. Number two is helicity. Helicity means it becomes more and more complex. It's not like how you now you behave, how you were behaving like a child. We have our own diverse ways. Energy field keeps on becoming more complex as you are aging. Number three is integrality. She believed this energy field is always integrating between the another human beings and with other environment. So that is about integrality. So now we have completed five concepts, five assumptions, three homeodynamic principles. Next, let us see propositions. Many propositions are there. I have just selected only three propositions to explain in this video. Nurse is an environmental component. So even before we go on to proposition, what is a proposition? A proposition is a statement which tells the relationship between two or more concepts. So we studied, no, concept is what? Energy field, pattern, pan-dimensionality, unitary human being, environmental energy field. So when you connect one with another, that becomes a proposition. So these propositions, what I have selected is related to nursing care. Okay, it's related to nursing care. So nurse is an environmental component. So what I should understand is, when I go to give care to a patient, where is my position? I am in the environment. Okay, I am the environmental, I am in the environment and I am having an energy field which can influence my patient. Okay, so the nurse is an environmental component. Number two, what is the focus of nursing? It is to promote health. Okay, to promote health and then to promote a positive energy field. Number three, purpose of nurse is to promote well-being for all persons wherever they are. It's not only for a patient, for anybody, wherever they are, wherever I go and meet, I promote wellness. So these are the three simple propositions which I have selected to explain in this video. Believe me, there are more propositions given in the textbooks. At least I should know the nurse comes in the environment, purpose is to promote health, to promote wellness. Shall we go on to the meta paradigm? That's all. We are coming to the end of the video, meta paradigm and critic. Okay. So the crux of the theory is over. That is five concepts, five assumptions, three principles. Next, let us look into the meta paradigm. So what are the meta paradigm? What all comes under meta paradigm? Four things: person, health, environment, nursing. So these are the four things which comes under meta paradigm. So let us see one by one how Roger is viewing a person. You already know the answer. This person is irreducible, this person is indivisible, pan-dimensional, always interacting with the energy field, and this person is having a pattern. So already we have studied that. Then what is an environment? Please write the same thing. Irreducible, indivisible, pan-dimensional. Environment also has a pattern and it is integral with the human energy field. Very easy, no? Meta paradigm. Number three is health. What is health according to Roger? Health is relative, health is infinite. Please believe me. According to Roger, even if a patient is having, uh, multiple injuries after a road traffic accident, okay, or say this patient has undergone two or three surgeries together after a road traffic accident, okay, but still Roger will never tell that this patient is sick. When will Roger tell that this patient is sick? Only when the energy field is disturbed. Okay, so I'll make it more clear. She believes that it is an irreducible human field. She believes health is infinite. Okay, health is infinite. Infinite means it's not that just because you lose your two lower limbs, you are not healthy. No, how many paraplegics we see living a very successful life, even as surgeons. They continue their surgery after becoming a paraplegic. See, they are considered to be healthy. According to Roger, they are healthy. Okay, so there are many, many people who are very living a very successful life because their energy field is good. Roger is bothered only about energy field. See here, health and illness are just manifestations. Disease is the term when it's applied when the human field is manifesting certain characteristics which are undesirable. So, what do you mean by that? When you are exhibiting a desirable characteristic, Roger will say that you are healthy. When you are exhibiting an undesirable characteristic, she will tell that you are not healthy. So, even though a patient is quadriplegic, paraplegic, hemiplegic, okay, even though with all those paralysis, if the desirable characteristics are exhibited by the person, this person, according to Roger, is healthy. But though you have all the body parts, if you are going to exhibit only undesirable characteristics, according to Roger, she will say that you are not healthy. So simple, just write in your exam. If there is a desirable pattern of energy field, according to Roger, this person is healthy. If it is undesirable, they are not healthy. The last meta paradigm, nursing. So according to Roger, nursing is a noun, nursing is a verb. Nursing is a noun because she said nursing is having a specialized body of knowledge. And she also said that nursing is also an art and science. So, this is what is nursing. She believed that there should be compassionate concern for human beings, a heart that understands, the hand that soothes. It is an intellect that synthesizes many learnings into meaningful ministration. So, it is not only understanding but also giving care. So, that is why it's written that heart that understands and hand that soothes. So, this is what she believed is the purpose of nursing, to promote a symphonic interaction between men and the environment, to strengthen the integrity of human field and the environmental field, to direct and redirect patterning of the human and the environmental field. Now, let me give you an example. After a colostomy, okay, if a patient is feeling very sad because of, there is altered elimination patterns, okay, bowel elimination pattern is altered for this particular patient. Body image disturbance is there. She is worried about her family who is giving care to her. Now, there are so many XYZ reasons why this person is feeling a little bit down. So, there, Roger will say that her energy field has to be redirected. Okay, that pattern is not very good. This pattern should be corrected. This pattern should be redirected. Okay, redirecting the patterning of the human field. So that will be the focus over there. And number two, she will try to establish a interaction. Symphonic means what? A balanced interaction between the human and the energy field. Maybe this nurse will sit along with the patient, trying to find out what are the other interventions or strategies that can be done to reduce that body image disturbance of hers, or what can be done so that the vibrations or the feelings of the family members can be taken into consideration. So such things, trying to listen, trying to understand, and then trying to redirect the pattern. All these things happens in nursing according to Rogers. So we have completed the meta paradigm. Human being, you know the definition of unitary human being. Environment, you know the definition. What is health? Desirable pattern is health. What is sickness? It is undesirable pattern, it is sickness. What is nursing? Understanding and giving care, redirecting the pattern, and what? Establishing a harmonious interaction between the human field and the environmental field. Next is Rogerian practice. How can we practice this in nursing? First thing is we have to know what is a pattern. Pattern manifestation knowing. How do you know what is my pattern? My pattern will be reflected in the way I talk, in the way I groom or I dress up, in the way I share my values, my beliefs, my roles, etc. So first thing what a nurse should do is we should try to understand what is the pattern. What is more important to this particular patient? What is more important? Is it pain management or is it body image disturbance? What is the most pressing concern of the patient? What is the pattern? That is what is the first thing we should know. Second thing is we have to voluntary mutual patterning. What do you mean by mutual patterning? I told you that the nurse has to sit and discuss with the patient what can be done. It is not that I am just redirecting the pattern. I am going to discuss mutually, voluntarily, mutually. We help the patient so that the pattern is redirected. What are the various interventions we can give according to Roger's theory? See, this therapeutic healing. We have heard about therapeutic healing, healing touch, therapeutic touch. What's actually happening here? It's the energy field. Okay, there are many people who get cured from, certain mental states of depression or hopelessness by therapeutic touch, therapeutic healing. All these things came in nursing by the introduction of Martha E. Roger. This is nothing but, you know, trying to sorry, trying to change the energy field. The second thing is like guided imagery. Guided imagery means I hope most of you are and most of you are aware about guided imagery, where you tell the patient to imagine certain things, close your eyes. There are, it has its own steps how to do it, but you are helped with your imagination power, like to experience that bliss, or to experience that happiness, to experience that peace of mind, and then slowly your energy field is being refactored. Okay. Next is meditation. Meditation is one of the intervention which helps to change the energy field according to Roger. Even listening to music, okay, music has the power to change your energy field. A very soothing and a pleasant music can change your energy field. I don't know whether you have experienced it, but listening to some favorite songs or your favorite music can alter your energy field. Color therapy is also introduced, and it's one of the intervention based on Roger's theory. Next, humor. I think in the past few decades, humor therapy is gaining its own importance. Okay, so humor therapy helps to change the energy field. Now, all these are, alternative therapies which we see in nursing today. We see nurses who do a lot of research in relaxation, therapeutic touch, humor therapy, music therapy, guided imagery. All these things, let me tell you, the mother of all these interventions is Martha E. Rogers. Okay, so she is the person who should be given the full credit because she was the person who introduced all these things into nursing. Okay, so main emphasis is like, for example, in pain management, we can use guided imagery. You can think about music therapy. A lot of research studies have been done. Pain management, supportive psychotherapy, rehabilitation, motivation. All these are the various areas where it can be used. Okay, so nursing practice is to understand and care for the human beings in the wholeness and not as isolated response. Okay, it's not that I just do a dressing for the patient, I say it's finished. No, I have to give a complete holistic care to the patient. And these people are helped to become aware of their feelings, thoughts, and attitudes with a gentle environmental context, and thereby there is a meaningful use of the theory and patterning. So these patients who come to us, we can help them to understand. We can help them to become aware of their own thoughts. Like, it's a sort of slight counseling. You try to help them and slowly you try to guide them that by doing these therapies, there may be a change in the energy field and they may feel a lot better. Long-term rehabilitation, we can create a relaxing environment that changes the energy field of a person. Always when you're very busy, always, running with a hectic schedule, the energy field, maybe the patterning is entirely different. But when you take a break, when you go with a relaxed environment, when you go for a picnic, okay, when you go for a one-day tour outside, what happens is you feel relaxed and that changes the energy field. There are people who say that I'm going to recharge my battery by taking a leave. or by going for a holiday trip. That's very true because it helps to change the energy field. Using therapeutic touch, using non-pharmacological methods. So we discussed what are the non-pharmacological like therapeutic touch, meditation, guided imagery, etc. Then identify any change in the vital signs or pain. Okay, so we have to identify what is their pattern and we have to change that and assess the patient as a unified whole. So these are the various things which this theory reminds us that I have to take care of this patient as a holistic person. I should understand what is his pattern and then slowly I can give him a mild, gently I can reaffirm him that these are the changes which he can bring so that his energy field can be redirected. Sorry. Critique of the theory. Okay, now let's move on to the last part, the theory critique. First one regarding the clarity of the theory. Okay, the how do you feel the theory as such? Did you love the theory? Okay, in the sense like it's very clear. I can say you that five concepts, five assumptions, three principles of homeodynamics, and then there are some propositions and the meta paradigm. So, how to talk about this theory? This appears very simple, but it is difficult for nurses to understand, and even some students they say that it's very difficult, ma'am, to remember all these words because helicity, resonancy, integrality, that such words may be difficult to understand. Okay, but though it appears simple, it is difficult for nurses to understand. Then simplicity. So again, this model have served to simplify and clarify some of the concepts. But again, most often students they feel that it's little bit complex. Generality, if this is a theory which can be applied anywhere for any type of people. But only thing is it's very abstract and it does not have a specific hypothesis. Now there are certain middle range theories which comes up with very specific hypothesis from which you can convert it into propositions. Propositions you can convert it into hypothesis and you can test that research. But with the Rogers theory, that generality is you can apply this theory to anyone anywhere, but the problem is that you don't have a very specific hypothesis. So but let me tell you one important thing. Rogers theory has been the mother theory, and from this Rogers theory many other small theories have come, not only in nursing, even from other disciplines. Like, for example, only for relaxation therapy, another theory has been evolved from Rogers' theory. Is that not a credit for nursing? Because a nurse theorist, a nurse has developed a theory, and from that theory, many other small theories have come up. Okay, so we can derive a lot of other theories from Rogers' theory, and we can use it. Empirical precision, people find it difficult to understand the principles. There is a lack of proper definitions and how to measure this energy field. Suppose if I want to do a research study based on Rogers' theory, what instrument will I use to measure the energy field? See, all these are the problems in Rogers' theory. Some people find it very interesting. There are some people find it very complex because such big words, complex words to remember and to understand. And for research study as such, you don't have a proper tool for measurement. What is the derivable consequences? Is there anything to take from Rogers' theory? Yes, because it helps to improve nursing's identity as a science. As a science, in a sense, like Rogers' theory has brought up nursing to another level. See, previously, all if you're going to see before Rogers' theory, you take any nurse theorist work, you will find everywhere they will tell. For example, Virginia Henderson, meet all the 14 components. You take Feiglin Abdullah's theory. She will say that 21 nursing problems a nurse should assess, and based on that assessment, care should be given. Okay, any theories you take, it only talks about meeting the physical need of a patient. You plan like this, you do like this, and meet all the 21 problems, meet all the 14 components. You do this, you do that. But Rogers' theory is entirely different. It gives importance to the physical aspect, but as well, it gives importance to a higher level of thinking, that is to, concentrate on the energy field. So it gives nursing's identity as a science. So, how to write a nursing process? My sincere advice is, if you are taking up a practical exam and if you are going to write nursing process application, it may be difficult from an exam point of view. On the day of practical exam, I'll say please don't use Rogers theory. But if you're going to write a theory based, you're going to apply this theory for a patient and then you're going to write, very well, you can write. But nursing process application, if you're planning to do, like nursing assessment, previous two videos, no, we discussed about Betty Newman and Roy's adaptation. I showed you in a column how to write assessmental evaluation. But please don't try that for a Rogers theory, because Rogers theory, no, it's a little bit complex and it talks about energy field and, a little bit diverse words. So it may be difficult for you from on the day of a practical exam to apply Rogers theory. Okay, so please, it's my opinion that it may be difficult. But if you think, no, it is possible, I'll be happy to hear that. Okay, so nursing assessment as such, what should a nurse assess? The nurse should identify the pattern, and maybe every pattern, sleep pattern, nutrition pattern, work pattern, all patterns can be assessed. And then we have to find out what is the process of patterning. And the main nursing diagnosis which you can write while using Rogers theory is disturbed energy field. So the diagnostic label will be disturbed energy field related to. Okay, so this is the nursing diagnosis which you can write for Rogers theory. What are the interventions? I should do certain things so that human being and the environmental patterning is taking place properly. So what will I do? Maybe it can be therapeutic touch, maybe it is a psychotherapy, maybe it is meditation, teaching my patient to do guided imagery, giving music therapy, giving humor, progressive muscle relaxation, maybe acupressure, foot reflexology. You wonderful interventions are there. So all such things you can use as interventions, and then you will have to evaluate whether that energy field has come back to normal, whether that pattern whether the pattern has been redirected. So, summary. So, to understand Rogers theory, okay. So, I don't know what is your personal perception related to Rogers theory, but there are many students who do love this theory because it talks about something very unique from all the other nurse theorists. Roger is the only person who talks in a very different, classic, unique, her own identity, her own highway. Okay, so but the basic thing what is needed to understand a Rogers theory is we should have a general education base. You should be ready to part from the traditional and to be imaginative in viewing our world. Okay, it's enough to be inside a glass. Let me jump into the ocean. That is what Roger has shown us, because traditional way of doing things, giving physical care, okay, small and frequent meals, then what else? You restrain the patient, you do all your physical care. Not only that, nursing is not only that. So if you are a person who want to be creative, if you are a person who want to step out of the traditional conventional way of doing things, then you will be in love with Rogers theory, because she is a person who took that bold step to say that even in the 19th century, to say that no, nursing is not only this, nursing is one step ahead. Why don't you go to redirect the disturbed energy field of the patient? Okay, so that is about. So if you are a person who is ready to part from the traditional and to be imaginative in viewing your world, then maybe Rogers theory is a wonderful nursing theory. And let me tell you, many challenging theories, many new theories have come out of this theory. Okay, it is there in all nursing theory textbooks. Okay, many other small theories have come from Rogers theory. So shall we just conclude by just remembering only that key points, that is the 5 concepts. Just start with energy field, tell that it has a pattern, tell that it is pan-dimensional, talk about unitary human beings, talk about environmental energy field. Then discussing about the assumptions. Okay, there is a human beings are whole, they are openness is there. Always they move in one direction. That is, it is unidirectional. Okay. Then what else did we discuss about the assumptions? It is unidirectional. Yeah. Pattern and organization, sentience and thought. Okay. That is, this human being have the capacity to self-regulate themselves, and they have their own ability to, think and then feel and then to take a decision. Then we discussed about the three homeodynamic principles. That is, the first principle was on resonancy, that is moving from high to low and low to high. Second thing was helicity. Helicity means it is moving into a more diverse and complex thing. Okay, as we are aging, our energy field becomes more complex. The third thing is we discussed about integrality. Always there is an interaction. So when you get a question for exam from Rogers theory, especially a theory exam question, just please remember to study these points. Okay, the five concepts, the five assumptions, the three homeodynamic principles, little bit on the meta paradigm and the critic. Critic you can write by yourself. The basic underlying point in the critic is this. That is, it is very nice. It has a lot of concepts. It is very clear, but at the same time, it is very complex. It is very, sorry, it is very difficult to understand all these concepts. Okay, so that is what is the basic underlying point. But overall, it's a wonderful theory because she is the nurse theorist who has given a very modern view of telling that nursing interventions are not limited only to the conventional interventions, but there are a lot of other things which nurses can do for the patient. Remember the word mutual. It is not that nurse is taking up the decision for everything. It is a mutual patterning between the patient and between the nurse. So I hope this small video is going to be helpful to you. Okay, if you have any queries or any questions, you can leave it in the comment section. I'll be happy to reply it to you. This video, what I have made on Rogers theory is only a skeleton theory. Okay, skeletal map, only that much is there because I have not gone into full details about each and everything. But from an exam point of view, as a student, I wish to remember all these things. Okay, if I am a student, to study for a Rogers theory, I will study that the words of concepts, the assumptions, the three homeodynamic principles, and a little bit on meta paradigm and a small critic about the same. Please remember the nursing diagnosis is disturbed energy field. So thank you very much for all your support, encouragement, and motivation to do these videos. So thank you all.